Right.
It says
Here
we're
we are.
live.
Judd the Stud. Hello, mates. Hello, Judd. So, Claire, how have you been?
Oh, can you hear me okay?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. I've got a microphone thing plugged in, but I don't always give good volume for my setup. So, oh, hang on.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
we go. Cool.
Perfect. So, how have you been? How's your day going? It's been pretty awful weather in the UK today, right?
Yeah, it's been a bit depressing today and yesterday, really. Moments of sunshine, but yeah, just a lot of rain. So.
Yeah, it has. Yves here. How you doing, Eve?
Good.
Nice
How are
to
you
see you.
guys?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Good to have you here.
Nice to actually talk to you.
I know it's weird talking actually
It
to
is.
another reviewer. That's cool. So, Eve, how's your day been? How are you?
I've been really good. Yeah, today was just really relaxing. I kind of woke up late, but we just took it slow today and didn't really do anything. So things have been good. How about you guys?
Pretty good. We were just saying, like us Brits, we love to talk about the weather. So today was awful. I was seeing like thunder, lightning, just like all across the skies from where I am.
Oh, really?
Pretty bad. I think it's clearing up a little bit now, so it's good. It's good to have a little bit, slightly a bit of a reprieve. So yeah.
How about you, Claire?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm always moaning about this lately, but I'm really suffering. I think I've got some sort of allergy on my face and a combination of maybe hay fever that's making it worse. So yeah, I didn't feel that great today because my eyelids were weeping and my skin, you can't see it too bad on the camera luckily, but yeah, my lips are really sore. It's all cracking at the edges and it's like, so yeah, it's a bit of a sort of duvet day. First day actually I've ever just watched TV. I mean, I popped out, I tried to go to the chemist, that went wrong. And so I was feeling sorry for myself. So I just curled up in front of the TV most of the day.
Well, you look great. I couldn't tell, but I'm sure that's very uncomfortable for you to feel.
Right.
That is annoying. You've been having some issues recently, right? I've been with the pollen or just general other issues.
Well, it's. I really don't want to bore your audience, but it started with a rash, which I think was down to a skincare, a cream, and then things just kind of spread and got worse. And it seems to get worse when I mowed the lawn. Everything blew up really bad. So the doctor's obviously saying it's probably hay fever or something. So, but it's like a combination of some skin rashes and hay fever. So
I mean, you can tell. You can tell, honestly. You look like you can tell too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
If I go close up and show you, you'll see like all the red on my eyelids and the red around my. But yeah, from a distance, luckily.
I won't put you on the big screen.
No.
All right. Well, yeah. I guess like first of all, thanks guys for coming on. Great to see you. Obviously, I'm a big fan of both your channels, so it's cool to in these times when we're all locked in. At least we can stay connected in some way. So it's cool to see you guys. I'm just going to take a look at some of the comments, just see who's in the house. We've got Judd Stud. Gunmetal, is it starting? I think it is starting. It is. Samuel saying hello. Hello, Sam. Handsome Smells. Wasim, I did a live stream with him. I think it was last week, I want to say. So good to see you here. Centurion, another YouTube reviewer. Hey, Raj. Hey, Claire. How's it going?
Hey, Scott.
Incense, a regular on a lot of live streams, I think. So good to see you here. Tracy, I believe. Hey, the girl and man. Now that is a name.
I like that name.
That's a perfect name.
It's a great name.
Hello to Joseph. Welcome to the chat. Loving the rain in London. Yeah. Jeezy, nice to see you, buddy. Okay, cool. So, I think like, what's the best place to start? Let's probably start with our scent of the day. So, Claire, do you want to go first?
Okay, I am wearing 3 fragrances because I'm greedy. But there are fragrances I bought specifically to talk about the topic. So, but I'll just share. What am I wearing here? Oh yeah, I'll share one with you, which is a Guerlain fragrance, and it's Le Plus Beau Jour de ma Vie. So it's a sugary vanilla orange blossom, a little tiny bit of aniseed or sort of like licorice. It's gorgeous. Very, very
Bottle
gorgeous.
looks amazing. I love those bottles. They're really cool.
I know. Like, I really like how that bottle looks.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yves, how about you?
So I'm actually testing out a sample that I recently bought. It's from Théo Cabanel.
Okay.
It's one that I've been wanting to try. It's called Café Cabanel. I just have this sample here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking it so far, but I'm kind of annoyed that I like it because my want list is already so big.
Yeah.
But it's a really nice fragrance.
Cool. Sounds good. It's good. I think I saw, was it Chris from Fragmental? He did like a kind of like a first impressions of I think the Discovery set or something. I think it was. So yeah, I've heard a few things about that. The cafe one is the one that I've heard the most about.
I think it's the most popular.
Like it, yeah, it sounds like it. So my set of the day, I've got it in front of me today. I've got it in front of me now, and this is kind of a little sneak peek into an upcoming haul video that I've got. So this is a fragrance that I used to own. It's back in my collection. It's Frederic Malle's Geranium pour Monsieur. And I think I always can never quite remember if this was my first Malle or if Muscat Ravageur was. But either way, it was one of my first. And I always remember this one after work. I used to go swimming, and then I worked quite close to Liberty, which is a department store here in London where they stocked Frederic Malle. And I always used to spray this on, and I associate that the way that your skin, your body is warm after swimming, and then applying this really super fresh, like minty geranium, slightly spicy scent. So yeah, I'm glad to have it back in my collection. Nice.
I know you're a huge fan of that house.
Yeah, I do like them. I'm more into the Guerlains. I do like Malle. I think the concept of the brand is really good. I think as a whole, the numbers that I really love as a sort of compared to the entire brand is on the lower side. But yeah, what do you guys think of Frederic Malle? Which ones do you like? Do you dislike? Or yeah.
Sorry. I like Frederic Malle a lot. There are a few that I really enjoy. I like Cardinal Flower, which is surprising because I'm usually not a huge fan of tuberose, but I actually like it. I also like Parfum de Thérèse, but I don't think I've found one yet that I truly loved enough to purchase a full bottle of, but it could be just because I need to test those same ones a few more times. But I do respect that house.
Cool. Sounds good. Claire, generally your thoughts on Malle?
Yeah, I like how he pioneered putting the perfumer's name on the bottle, and a lot of companies have now followed suit, and a lot of companies have followed suit in maybe a slightly more affordable way, which is great. Yeah. But I like that he pioneered that, and he made them the star. And I really enjoy Portrait of a Lady. I've got a bottle of that. I wish I could amp down the cumin a little bit. It's a touch dry and a touch curried. If they took that out, it would be perfection. And I used to have Lipstick Rose. I think that's beautiful, but it's a little bit linear. So to me, it's just like rose and vanilla and a bit of fruit, and it kind of doesn't do a lot, but it is beautiful. And then I also had Dante Bras. Yeah. It's kind of a complex violet kind of fragrance, but I just didn't find occasion to wear it. It was a really beautiful, really nice fragrance, but I wasn't reaching for it, so I ended up selling that as well. Okay. But I think overall, it's a great house. Yeah,
I know what you mean. I had those those small 3.5 mLs. So I've had quite a few of those, and Dante Bras was one of the ones that I had, and I really enjoyed it. It is a slightly strange, like slightly abstract, in the way that maybe like a L'Eau de Verre is. It's just slightly, doesn't smell like anything I've smelled in the real world, but kind of does, but you're not sure. But it's an interesting one for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So got a question here from Wasim. If you guys get questions, we'd love to know Claire and Yve's thoughts on many guys wearing fragrances for female attention. Oh my God. Top 10 penny droppers. Here we go. Incoming. Is it the same for women? Do women wear frags for male attention? Boxer droppers. Go.
Who's going first?
Claire, do you want to go first?
Okay. I think when I look back on when I was younger, I think I was wearing fragrances to get male attention. I certainly took it into consideration when I went out of a night out. It was part of the whole getting ready ritual, you know, and you kind of do want to get some attention when you go out when you're younger. So I definitely did myself when I was younger. And even now, if I'm choosing a fragrance to go out, I will pick something that I think is more mass appealing. I'm not going to wear something that smells fecal or, you know, anything that's a bit weird, because you still want people to enjoy your scent. So I've got no problem with blokes choosing fragrances just because they want the ladies to enjoy it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I also think that it's a different part of the fragrance journey. I think that in many ways it's a step into the fragrance community, if you like, or getting into fragrances more. Is just a lot of people end up here because they're looking for something that they think is attractive to other people, but then like the whole world opens up and it becomes not so important the more you start to appreciate the other aspects of fragrance.
I agree.
I agree 100%. And that's pretty much how I feel. I think when I went to university, I definitely cared a lot more about it. And that's why I picked certain fragrances at that time. But now I definitely have things in my collection that I prefer wearing for myself. But as Claire had said, if I am going out with, you know, my girlfriends and, you know, a lot of people are going to be around me, I do try to pick more of those mass appealing type of scents. And as for guys wearing frags, I mean, it makes sense why they would do that. But I will say that I think the fragrance alone isn't going to catch my attention, at least. It's part of a whole package. Like if you're well groomed, if you have a nice personality and you look like you take care of yourself, then the fragrance is definitely something that adds to that attractiveness.
I agree. I think Claire and Yves, you both touched on points that I agree with. I also kind of feel though that sometimes, just like in life, when we go through different moods or there are different occasions we want to go to, like if you're going to work, if you're going to the nightclub, bar, you're going to an interview, there's always certain things that we do that we adjust, and we adjust to those scenarios and those circumstances. So we might dress differently, we might even sometimes talk differently. And I think sometimes fragrance can play that role as well. So you want to come across as professional, or you want to come across as more seductive or wanting to attract, or you just want to come across as sort of a easygoing kind of person. I think there are fragrances to suit that. So to answer to kind of in a roundabout way of answering Wasim's question,
I think he froze.
I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting attention from a fragrance. Oh, I think did I freeze? I think it's you know, there's nothing wrong with wanting to get fragrance from attention, but all right. Let's see what else is going on in the comments. Patchouli Imperial, he's got a big one. He's got an 8.4 ounce bottle. That's huge.
Oh wow.
Cool. Chris, Dior on Cologne is your scent of the day. That's a pretty good one. Do you guys know about the Elle line from Dior? Have you heard about it?
I've heard about it. I have not tried it.
Yeah.
I've tried a couple a long time ago. They're kind of like fresh cologne style.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're quite nice.
Yeah, I quite liked. There was one called Elle a Portofino, which is kind of their like take on the basically the whole Neroli theme. They had a tea-based one, and it's a line that I don't even know if it's still around, but it's really like under the radar. Definitely worth checking out.
Got a cat.
Got a cat. Sweetie's joining us.
It's gonna knock all the perfume over. I got all these bottles over here, and she's decided to get sweetie. Come on.
She's knocking everything.
Come here.
So to like my piece, but after spending the last 2 months testing them over and over, I know from me, oh, that's fair enough. At least you've tested them out, Judge. You know, that's the best thing.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, we don't really have like a sort of agenda or such today, but there was one thing that I thought, well, if we're going to sort of set a topic, this might be a good one. So recently I did a video. I was kind of inspired by George the Fragrance Apprentice when he was talking about fragrances that places that he wants to go to and fragrances that he would sort of associate with that. So I did a video talking about fragrances that I've worn or have bought or like associate with countries that I've been to. So I thought it would be cool to hear from you guys, and also maybe people in the comments as well, about, it doesn't necessarily have to be scents in those countries. It could be fragrances that you've bought in those countries, or you take with you a lot when you go back, or any sort of scent memory you associate with the country. So Yves, if you want to tell us, is there one scent or a few scents that you had in mind?
Yeah, I could start off with one. So I went to Tokyo and Osaka a couple years ago for my husband and my honeymoon.
Yeah.
And there in Japan, they prefer lighter type of scents. And I happened to try this fragrance from MFK. I just have this small bottle of it. I actually had a bigger bottle before. This is a repurchase, but this is À la Rose. And I tried it at one of their department stores. And at first I thought it was just a simple, kind of like a rose soliflor, but the more I tried more similar type of rose scents, I realized that I kept wanting to wear this. And I think it's because it has a little bit of violet in it that I like. So every time I wear this, I think about our trip to Japan, because I think a lot of people there, a lot of the women that we shared the train with, they often wore rose type of scents. Okay.
And that's generally like the culture over there. From what I hear, it's more about the sort of lighter, slightly floral, airy kind of fragrances.
Yeah, although I think I'm seeing more on IG now. There are a lot of people who are getting into the more indie brands and the heavier type of fragrances. But I think they only do maybe one spray of it, and they wear it so they can smell it on themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that trend, it might be changing a little bit.
Sure, sure. It's interesting, I find, in like sort of Asian culture. I mean, Asian is a very sort of broad term. Yeah, like maybe East Asian more appropriate. The sort of attitude towards fragrance, you know, you compare it to the Middle East, you compare it to Europe, and then maybe in South America, like they douse themselves with multiple fragrances. So it's really interesting how it's slightly more sort of reserved kind of approach to scent, more personal scent, as you said, which I like. I respect that. Yeah. Was there any other scent specifically? Any other ones, or?
Sure. So another place I like to go to is Vancouver. I don't know if either of you have been there, but I wasn't able to try any fragrances when I was there last time, but when I think about Vancouver, I think about this one. This is Tempo from Diptyque. So I don't wear it, but my husband does, and he wore this. He wore a sample of it when he was there, and it's a very strong fragrance. So I could definitely smell it on him when I'm with him, and it's one that I think you would like if you like patchouli, because the patchouli here is quite strong, and it is a dirtier type of patchouli. But I think it's a lovely fragrance for me to smell on a guy.
That's cool. Just one quick question here for you, if you want to take that one.
I'm not from Canada. I love Canada though, but I'm actually born and raised in California.
Cool. Before I get to you, Claire, I'm just going to go through a couple of comments. So we've got Joseph. Hello, Joseph. This morning I wore Porsche Design the Essence. It's interesting. I don't think I knew that Porsche Design did fragrances, or maybe I did. I just ignored them. But Cool. Okay. Cool. This evening I'm wearing Roger Scandal Pour on Parfum Cologne. That's one of my favorite scents. I've got a full bottle of that, so I can. I'm with you there. Have you had anyone physically move away from you wearing a risky perfume? When and where? He wants to know the details. Maybe Claire, have you had any experiences? People running away from you?
Well, that happens all the time, but I wouldn't say it's down to the perfume. Not that I'm aware of, not that I've ever noticed, but I might not have noticed.
Yves, I can't imagine anybody wants to run away from you. Maybe there was one time.
It did happen. So I was testing out a perfume I actually really like. It's Cafe Rose from Tom Ford. I know you like it too, Raj.
Okay.
And I wore it to work, and I thought it was fine because I only did maybe 1 or 2 sprays, but my coworker and I were meeting one-on-one, and she came in, and then she said, "Oh, sorry, I need to take out the trash can," because she had thrown away her lunch in there. And so she took it out, and then when she came back, you could see the look on her face. She realized that it was my perfume because we were sitting close to each other, and then she was moving away. Yeah. And she's also very sensitive to stronger smells, but she did not like it at all.
Didn't like that. I think I've heard you mention that on your channel. Actually, I've heard that story.
I probably did. Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, hey Jan, good to see you. For me, I don't remember. Thanks, Lizzie. Good to see you here, and enjoy your truffle and chicken pizza. I think that's what you had. For me, I can't really remember anyone really like strongly reacting negatively to a fragrance. I think maybe if they haven't liked it, they have just not said anything. I know some of my members of my family aren't too keen on some oud fragrances, but the only time I can remember a kind of very much a physical reaction was when I wore Bulgari Man in Black, and this was I wore it to work, so it was the morning because the scent was kind of fresh, and I went over to my colleague's desk, and she knows I'm into fragrances, and she's into fragrances too, and she was like this at her desk, and she just literally went like that, like trying to get away from me, and she looked at me, and I was like, "Too strong?" She said, "Yeah, too strong."
That's a really nice fragrance, though. I say that's really that one. Yeah.
I know. I've received compliments. I get compliments on that one, but maybe it was just too spicy or something along those lines.
Yeah. But, I did have one incident. Now Yves mentioned a co-worker, and it sparked a memory.
Yeah.
I was trying out, or I had a travel size of 4160 Tuesdays rhubarb and citrus cologne.
Okay.
And I really liked it. It's very, very fresh and tart. Really great summer fragrance. But I'd sprayed it at work. So I was at my desk and I'd sprayed it. But it was a good half an hour or so. Someone walked by and they went, "Oh, has someone been smoking cannabis?" And I'll keep quiet, but I'm pretty sure actually this fragrance smells like cannabis. And then 2 people separate walked by, and one said to the other, "Can you smell cannabis?"
Yeah.
And I thought, oh shit. It really does actually smell quite strongly of cannabis, completely unintentionally. But Sarah McCartney herself has said quite a few people are saying it smells like cannabis, and it really does. But it also does just smell of rhubarb and really tart citruses, but for some reason the whole combination comes together, and it's like weed.
That's really weird.
It's crazy. So I can't dare wear it, you know, to work or anything, because everyone's going to think I've been having a smoke.
Have you guys ever been at work and thought this scent is too much, and you just go to the bathroom and you have to wash it off?
No.
No? Yves?
I think I may have worn Black Orchid one time, which was probably a mistake. I work in a school, so a lot of children are sensitive to smells. Okay. So that was not the appropriate setting for me to wear that fragrance.
You should have just blamed it on the kids.
Yeah, right. They did it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So before we get to Wasim's question, which is on the screen, Claire, in terms of scents and traveling or scent memories in those countries or anything? Yeah, what was the ones that come to your mind?
Yeah, well, I've actually brought a little selection down. So I'm going to go to my most recent holiday. Probably it's going to be a while till I go on another one. And I love my holidays so much. And I took a decan of B from Zoologist with me.
Okay, nice.
And I went to Madeira, and it was in January. But Madeira has all-round spring. So whenever you go, the weather's going to be pretty nice. So I wanted to test out B in a warmer climate. And so I took it and I wore it quite a lot and I absolutely loved it. It wasn't mega hot, but I still managed to get a tan. I still paddled in the sea. So it was a lot hotter than it is here in January. And B was just amazing. And it's just a nice memory of being in Madeira, and I've sprayed loads because I always spray loads, and I wore it on nights out, I wore it during the day, and it was just gorgeous. Just loved it.
Cool. And if anybody doesn't know, Madeira is Portugal, right?
Yeah, it's a Portuguese island, but it's actually, if you were to fly from Lisbon, it still takes an hour and a half to get to Madeira. So it's actually closer to Africa. It's kind of more like where you're like your Tenerife and the Canaries and that. It's in line with those, so you get that better weather. And it was lovely.
Okay,
Nice.
Okay, cool. Let's just go through a few questions. I'm going to come back to you with Wasim's question, but I'm just going to go to the more other one. So we've got at the start up north. Up north is a Michigan phrase. Got Barry in the house. How's it going, Barry, from the channel Sensualize? Good to see you, buddy. Wasim is saying, I wore leather desert Moroccan during my night stay in a tent in the Sahara Desert when I traveled to Morocco solo back in 2016. LDDM will always remind me of that. That's really cool.
That's beautiful.
That's nice. Yeah, I've been to the Sahara Desert. This was when we did a family holiday to Tunisia and we ventured into the desert, and I just remember there being loads of camels and loads of sand, but maybe I was too young to appreciate what was going on, but it was pretty cool. Have you guys ever been to like a desert that, you know, it's just dry and hot?
The closest for me is Los Angeles. I wish I could go to other countries for that experience, but no, I have not.
Okay. Play yourself.
I've never actually went to the desert, but I've been to Tunisia, been to Egypt, and I picked out a fragrance that I think kind of depicts Egypt quite well, which is Dendera.
Ah, okay, lovely.
Because as soon as I smelt it, I just thought it just smells like these hot dried spices, like a souk, market. All the spices, the heat, almost like looking at terracotta that's so hot the sun's like burning the terracotta. Do you know what I mean? Like hot sand. To me it screams the desert, that one.
Sure, that's
such a beautiful description.
Yeah, I love it. It's so evocative. It's just so
I'm really looking forward to what Pete's got lined up in the pipeline. I know he's got an oud fragrance that he's working with the company Ensar Oud, so that should be interesting. And talking of oud, we've got a question from Wasim for both of you guys. Do you guys ever think you'll try genuine oud oils and even attars, or you can pronounce it utters? Some male reviewers review oils, but nothing from our female frag reviewers, minus Jess and Wes H, who actually have quite a good channel. So when are you gonna be applying some skanky ouds? Tell us. Yves, take it away.
So I'm interested in doing it. I have to kind of figure out how to get access to that. But I'd be down to try it out.
Okay. I think you have to go on the dark web to get some real. Claire, yourself, I have a feeling maybe you're not really into oud.
So far, I'm really not falling for oud. I do prefer the natural oud, so the Bortnikov, Original Dore ouds. I actually prefer proper natural oud over the Western ouds like the Tom Ford and the usual ouds.
Sure.
which to me, they make me feel a bit sick when I smell them. But the real oud, it does still smell like you're walking through the countryside and there's muck spreading going on. But I don't find that offensive. But at the same time, I also don't feel like I necessarily want to smell like it.
Sure.
So
Sure.
to delve into wearing a pure oud, and then you look at the price point of it, it's not a rabbit hole that I think I'm going to be falling down.
Sure. Well, sorry, Wasim, you're going to have to just wear the ouds and review them yourself, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Gunmetal 24, good to see you in the live stream. Has anyone been buying more perfume lately? I meant to downsize, but I'm upsizing instead. I know, Claire, you did a massive haul.
Oh, that's right.
I'm halfway through it. I need to go back to it, but
I've just done a condensed version, so that was a 2-hour live stream, but I've condensed the haul into a recorded. It's still half an hour, but it's not. I mean, in comparison to a lot of people, it's not a massive. It's a massive haul for me. It's about 16 bottles, but there's a lot of people on here that are constantly buying at that rate. But that's not how I normally buy. So quarantine has affected me in that respect.
Yeah. Yves, yourself?
I would say maybe last month I did buy quite a few, I guess, compared to what I normally do, because there were a lot of fragrances that were on my want list that I found out were either getting discontinued or I found like a really good deal for them. But I am the type of person who want to keep my collection small. So I think I haven't really been buying a lot, fortunately. But I do have a lot on my want list. So we'll see in the next few weeks.
Sure. How many fragrances do you have, like, in your entire collection?
Last I counted, I think I had 32.
That is so weird because that's exactly how many I have.
I think you mentioned it during Pep's Live, and I was like, oh, the same here. Yeah.
That's such a crazy coincidence. Cool. Okay. I have actually bought a few new fragrances. I'm going to do a video, so I won't give too much away. I did mention earlier in the stream that this is my scent of the day, Geranium Pour Monsieur. So that is a new bottle. There are a couple of Guerlains that I've picked up and one Hermes. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for the whole video. We'll go back to the scent memories and countries. I'll mention a few things, but let's get through some of these comments. We've got Galen in the house from the channel The Etherealist, whose channel I was watching earlier today. He's one of my actually favorite reviewers. He's done a most worn of the month, and he mentioned in that video to check out his review of Boudica Woad. And he did a really, really good job. The editing was really nice. He did a trek through the forest. So, yeah.
That was very entertaining to watch. I was very impressed.
Yeah, that was really cool. Chad in the house, who let this guy in? I had a bouncer on the door, but he made his way in through the back door. Clearly. Vancouver is a gorgeous city. Yeah.
Yeah. I would totally go back many times.
Claire, you've ever been to Canada?
I have been to. So I worked on cruise ships quite a long time ago now. Sorry.
I didn't know that actually.
Oh yeah, no. Years ago, I used to work. Well, I worked on a couple of cruise ships. So we went to Montreal and Quebec, which I loved, both of them, and a couple of other smaller places in Canada, which I might not recall the names of.
Yeah.
And we went over to the place where they got big dogs. I don't think that's Canada though, is it? It's
big dogs.
Big dogs. It could be many places.
Sea dog. It's like famous for having a big dog on a ship or a loyal dog.
Maybe someone in the comments might be able to help us.
I want to know what the city is.
It's oh god. So it was Canada. It's like I think it's an island.
Oh, maybe it's Victoria. Is it?
It's not St. Bernard, but it's like it's famous for this massive dog. It'll come to me. Yeah, I can't remember where else we went to. It's Portland. No, Portland's in America, isn't it? That's Maine. Yeah, anyway, I've been to a couple of spots in Canada, and I really loved, what I loved about Montreal and Quebec is it kind of made me feel more at home because of the French stuff. Like, you had the patisseries, and it felt like I was closer to home when I'd been away for so long. But I really loved Quebec because it's so quaint and the cobbled streets, and yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay, cool. Thanks for taking us on the journey there. So one of the, if anybody's just recently joined, one of the topics that we're talking about is fragrances and countries, and the fragrances that maybe you associate with those countries or you have worn or bought. So I recently did a video where I spoke about fragrances that I wore in certain countries. But what I'm going to mention is actually a couple of more scent memories, not necessarily like fragrances, but the smells in that country. And one of the things that really come to my mind is whenever I've been to India, when you land, and sometimes even before the plane door has opened, or certainly at least when the connecting corridor connects to the plane to the terminal, the scent in the air in Mumbai or anywhere in India is so, it's not a bad scent, but it's potent, it's balmy, it's slightly sweaty, which I guess is a bit bad. And there's just a scent of kind of pollution and that kind of thing. And when you combine that with the noise that you hear around you, it really you really will feel like you're in a part of the world. I don't know if you guys have been to Mumbai or anywhere, or experienced something like that in other countries, maybe.
I haven't been to Mumbai. I really would like to. I guess I experienced something similar in the Philippines because the smell there is quite strong too, I would say.
Okay, Philippines. Yeah. Claire, any times when you've got off a plane and you're like, oh my God, what the hell is that? Where am I?
I don't recall like a particular smell as such, but usually when you land somewhere a lot hotter and more humid, there is this scent, this more earthy. There's just a humidity of I guess the water in the air kind of thing.
Yeah.
That earthy scent that's hot, and I love that because it always feels it's so exciting to land. Usually you come from England. Wherever you land is hotter and more exciting.
Exactly.
It's so nice
I know.
to get on the plane and it's like, oh.
I think exactly what you said is what I associate with Spain and Portugal the most. That's just the best thing. A couple of comments here. I don't know if this is going to help you answer your question, but we've got Newfoundland. A few people are saying.
It's Newfoundland, yeah.
Newfoundland.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, but is that Newfoundland? Is that actually a country or is it part of Canada? I'm not sure now.
I don't think it's a country. It must be a part of Canada.
I think it's a Canadian province.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I think it's a province.
Okay. Cool. On my big Euro tour a few years ago, I actually wore no frags, but I'm reminded of wine, bread, butter, beer, and more beer. Okay. Sounds like a good time. Sounds like a good time.
In life, isn't it?
Exactly. What else do you need? Yeah. Cool. Yves, have you ever been to Europe, or have you ever been to the UK?
I've been to the UK, but that was years ago. I think I was probably around 18 when I went. I was in London just for a small trip. I've also been to Rome. I've been to Madrid and other parts of Spain as well. And I've been to Paris. Yeah.
And when you went to Paris, were you into fragrances when you went to Paris?
No, I was very young. I know. Yeah. I was so upset about that when I look back to that. But I was kind of into fragrances in that I wanted to smell good, but definitely not at the same level as now.
Okay, fair enough. All right, cool. Girl and man, I see where you point. Thick and humid, incense, sandalwoody smell in India. Yeah, I can totally I totally get that. Jad, I'm so sorry. I've skipped over your joke. I didn't see it. There are so many comments, but let me see if I can find it. What's he saying? I feel embarrassed, Spanner. We just ran the chat. Sancho, Judd the Stud. No, I believe this is the Cannoli Mafia representing. So no, it's fine. Welcome to the chat. Amy is asking you, Claire, have you tried Indolis? Which is I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
No, I haven't heard of that one.
Okay.
Is that a house or a fragrance? I haven't tried it.
I'm not sure. Maybe Amy, if you're still here, you can ask again. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we've got 30 people in the house, and just in case people who are watching aren't aware of who we have, Yve is a new reviewer who I think is definitely worth checking out. Her link is in the description box. And Yve, you are, how many months have you been on YouTube now, or doing fragrance reviews?
Yeah, it was right before our shelter in place had happened. So I think end of February was when I started doing videos.
Okay. And how have you found the whole like YouTube experience on the whole? Has it been positive?
I mean, I love it because the reason why I started it was to talk about this thing that I enjoy that I can't really talk about with anyone else. I mean, other than my husband, but like my family, my friends, they're not really into fragrances. So I wanted to find a place where I can talk about it and then also potentially meet some people either through comments or, through things like this where I could talk about something I love.
Sure.
And overall, I think it's really nice to see how supportive the fragrance community has been. So I've been loving it.
Yeah, it's always nice, isn't it? And Claire, I'm sure you've experienced the same thing, when you find someone who has this weird obsession like we do with fragrances, and you can just speak for hours, and you're like, I don't have anyone to talk to, but it's always a nice thing.
Yeah, it's lovely, and I think that's the best thing about this whole thing, the YouTube community with fragrances. It sometimes gets a little bit of a bad rap, but actually, for the most part, 99% of the time, it's a bunch of amazing people. And that goes for Instagram, it goes for the Facebook groups. It's a bunch of people that have got this one thing in common. And for the most part, everyone's helping each other out, sending each other samples, chatting. And it's a place to have those chats when everyone else around you thinks that you're weird.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is totally, and I think since I've been on YouTube, there's on the whole been a lot of positivity. There's always going to be incidents and things that happen. We just put it that way, but I think that's human nature. Us as humans, we're not always going to get on with each other, and I don't expect that to happen. And I think history has proved that humans can't always get on. But it's important to focus on like positive things, and I think there is a lot of positivity. Yeah, I'm just going to go through a couple of comments. So the second country I wanted to mention kind of is in line with what GZ is saying. Andalusia in March smells like you're drawing in an Neroli frag bottle. So whenever I think of, okay, so you mentioned Neroli, which obviously comes from the flowers of the orange tree. And whenever I think of oranges, I instantly think of Morocco, and specifically Marrakesh, because I don't know if and you guys or anyone in the chat has been to Morocco, but there are a lot of orange trees that grow there, and a lot of the time they'll sort of like, you can pick them. I actually think you're not supposed to pick them, but I did a couple of times. And yeah, Moroccan sort of orange blossom, neroli, freshly squeezed orange juice. That's something that I really do associate with Morocco quite strongly. It's always nice to have a little scent that can just take you back and bring back all these memories of traveling. So I like that.
Yeah, I think I associate jasmine with a lot of my holidays because I guess I go to, for the most part, Europe, and in the evenings as you're going out for your night out, if you walk, generally speaking, I go where I can walk out for the night out, and there's like jasmine bushes everywhere, and the scent
that's nice.
the jasmine as I guess it sets off more scent over at night time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That scent has me stopping at every single jasmine bush and sniffing or taking a bloom to walk with. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Lovely.
All right. Okay, so I introduced, or I mentioned Yves, and just in case, and I mean, to be honest, if you know my channel, you'll probably know Claire from the channel Smurfygurly, but just in case, again, her link is in the description. Please subscribe to her channel. And Claire, you've been on YouTube for
a million years.
I was gonna go there. And I checked myself and I thought, don't want to make her sound old. But you've been doing it for, I don't know, what, like 6, 7 years?
About 8 or 9 years.
8 or longer than that. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't start with fragrances. I started with makeup and beauty, and it was kind of reluctant. So I was sent a few freebies, and I was sort of told, it was Boots the chemist, or Boots, and they said, if you would do this review, but you've got to put it on YouTube, we'll send you some free skincare. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. And then I thought, oh, free stuff. So I didn't have a camera or anything, and I got my brother to come round and film me doing these really awkward skincare reviews because I just wanted the free stuff. And then as I got into fragrances, the whole channel just became fragrances, and that's all it. Well, every now and then I do little things like other things. If I get a procedure, I went through getting my teeth straightened. I had a couple of bits and pieces done, and I generally will do a sort of record of that and put that on my channel. So, but 99% of the time it's fragrance now. But yeah, it's been going on a long time.
Nice, great. Do you have any words of wisdom for people like Yves who are quite new to YouTube?
Oh, I'd love to hear this.
Any tips or anything?
But you know what? Not because I've been such a slow grower. If you're trying to sort of blow up your channel, and if you've got big ambition, I'm actually the last person you want to listen to, because for 9 years I've got still under 5,000 subscribers. So I'm not good for that. I have my own preferences, and I think that my followers are really genuine, and I think they like me because I'm very honest. So I think if you want a really genuine following, just be yourself, which you are anyway, Yves, and same for you, Raj. We talk about what we're passionate about, what's grabbing our attention right now, rather than following what's the best way to get the algorithms to push us up. We're we're more about what we're into, kind of thing.
Cool. And I think, Yves, actually you already do that. I mean, you very much you do your own thing. You talk about fragrances that a lot of the time are under the radar. Definitely. Do you have any sort of I don't know, I don't want to say like a plan or a goal, but what do you want to sort of achieve at your YouTube channel?
That's a good question. So I didn't create it as a way to gain like followers or get views even. I mean, it's nice when people watch it because I put in work to film it, but I'm not really interested in so much about the numbers. Honestly, my goal is just to continue being honest about my views on camera and to really continue sharing this interest that I have with other people.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. Definitely looking forward to seeing where your channel goes. I think it's a really good channel. I think from my side, I mean, again, I'm not somebody who has like a following, and I've been on YouTube since 2012, and I've actually, in this sort of like lockdown period, I've been looking through the analytics. So I don't know if you have access to that yet.
Yes. Yeah.
You do? Okay,
I do look at that just out of curiosity, but
yeah, it's interesting, especially as the months and the years goes by, to see just how people are engaging with your channel. You can take it super seriously and develop some sort of strategy if you want to. But for me, the only thing that I've noticed that I haven't been good at is consistency. And for the number of videos that I've produced, I'm averaging less than one a week, or something along those lines, which I think it's one of the key things to really grow, is try and be consistent, but sometimes that can put pressure on yourself to pump out the video.
Right. You don't want to get burnt out, right?
Exactly. You don't want to get burnt out. But yeah, sometimes I think the best thing, maybe Claire, you might concur with this, is just switch on the camera and talk. Just post it.
Yeah. Don't put I think if you try to put pressure on yourself to say, right, I'm going to do 3 videos every week, you're going to end up recording videos you're not feeling. And then if your passion's not there, people aren't going to enjoy watching it as much. You're not going to enjoy doing it. You're going to feel less inclined to do it again. Yeah. If you, as you say, you're not mega ambitious, you're not trying to be the next Jeremy.
Sure.
Not my goal.
Then, you know, if the whole point is to enjoy it, then what I've learned, because sometimes I do put pressure on myself and I think I should, and it's not even because I'm trying to, you know, gain numbers, but sometimes I feel like it would be nice to put a video out for, you know, for everyone to see and whatever. And if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it, you know. Don't do it. Do it when you want to. Do it when you feel you've got the passion for something. Sometimes I'm not looking very nice, like my hair's all scraped back, but a parcel's just come and I really want to share the opening of that parcel with everyone. So I think, oh, do you know what? Bugger it. Let's just film this because I'm going to enjoy it and the passion's going to be there. So I just do it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Guys, if you guys have any particular thing that you want to talk about, or if there are anything that anyone in the who's viewing, any questions you've got for Claire and Yves, fire away. I'm just going to catch up with some of the comments. Oh, here's a really good channel, My World of Fragrance.
Hi.
And good to see you. Yeah, Sam's got a really cool channel. I like her whole vibe. Very creative. Worth checking out. Focus on good content. Don't get something to do popularity contest. Yeah, I guess, you know, like YouTube as a whole, very much does feel like a popularity contest at times. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about this topic for ages, you know.
Okay.
You have to use a brightness filter with bold font. Yeah, that is true. I mean, for years, I didn't even know what a thumbnail was. To be honest, probably that's been to the detriment, I think, of my channel. But I've started recently putting up a few thumbnails. Hopefully, nothing too crazy, but let me see.
No, your thumbnails look good.
Okay, cool. Ashfaq's in the house. This is the king of ouds, I would say. He's got a very knowledgeable guy. So good to see you here, buddy. Thanks. Got a question here for you, Yves. Who are your top favorite reviews to watch? Same to you, Claire.
Obviously. Oh, sorry, Claire. I think you were going to say something.
Let's think. So I love Lizzie from Rose and Jones. Lola Sense, I absolutely love. Every time she doesn't post a lot, but every time she posts, I'm there. Love her. She's calm. She's knowledgeable. She's got a very specific taste. And guess what? I don't know if you've noticed, but Amy Loves Perfume's back.
I saw her video. I mean, I didn't see it yet, but I did see it on my feed, and I'm gonna watch it after.
Love her. I'm so glad she's back. I mean, I could really go on and on and on.
Cool. Her collection is crazy.
Yeah, her collection is absolutely amazing, and so she did the best comeback because it's a fragrance collection tag video. Okay. So yeah, perfect for her. So you get to see like all the extremes of her collection, the biggest bottle, the most expensive, and all that. Amazing.
Awesome. Yves, yourself?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you two. I feel like you guys are legends in this field.
No, present company excluded, please.
Sam, you had mentioned Sam because she was here. I do watch her videos a lot. I really like her reviews. I also watch Cherie from the Top Note and the Sentinel. Both are based in Australia. Really informative reviews. I really like them. Lola Sense is another one that I like to watch. Oh, and there's this newer reviewer. His name is I Am Gids, based in the UK.
Okay.
And I feel like he and I have pretty similar tastes, and really good reviewer as well.
Awesome. Yeah, maybe just Send me the link later.
Yeah, we'll do.
Oh,
You're
Clemens,
gonna
Judah Rose. So there's so many that have risen up recently.
Yeah.
They're just so nice, so pleasant to watch, calming, and
for sure.
different variety of fragrances.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, my top 3 kind of always rotates and changes. You guys have mentioned some really good female reviewers. I'll throw into the mix. I really like Clemence from CC Fragrance.
Oh yeah.
I really like her mixture of that sort of French style. The humor comes through, and she puts, from what I can see, a lot of effort in terms of editing.
And the research she does for the more historical type of fragrance videos that she does, it's pretty impressive.
I would mention her. I think also Eugene from You Smells Good, Mark Robes 08, those 2. And then we've got so many great reviews in the chat, so that's nice to see. Well, just a lovely lady. So we've got Sancho. Sancho is somebody who I've met in some live streams recently, so it's good to get to know him. If a fragrance house contacted you with the opportunity to make your own fragrance, what would your fragrance smell like? Who wants to go first?
To think about that.
You need a bit of time. Claire, do you know?
I can because I'm still collaborating. I did mention this quite a while ago. Things have been delayed, but I am actually collaborating with an indie house, an independent one lady band, and we're the fragrance. I'll just give you the notes. So it's pear, because that's one of my favorite notes. A little bit of vanilla, but violet, chocolate white mice,
Chocolate white mice.
thunderstorms, rainbows, and sunshine.
But that's so easy to just figure out what that's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. That sounds really cool. I've heard you mention this. I think you briefly mentioned it on one of your live streams. So that's really cool. You're saying things got a bit delayed, but is there any idea of when the final product will be here, or?
Not at the moment, because so first of all, we had a problem with so we did a lot of different moderations, and what we were getting was absolutely beautiful. There was a slight problem because one of the main ingredients changed. You couldn't get the one that she initially used. So it's Hay Absolute, which is a beautiful material. The one she used to start with was not as rich, not as sweet, and you couldn't get it anymore.
Okay.
And then it changed the whole composition, because she had to redo the whole thing. Changed the whole composition, and then also she moved from England to Chicago, and then there was a pandemic. So it's very much, she's still playing with materials and working on it, and absolutely hoping that it will go ahead at some point. But I wouldn't that's why I'm not talking about it, because I'm not going to try and create any interest at the moment, because I don't know, it could be this year, next year, it might not even happen. It's too many logistics at the moment, but that's the idea of kind of sweet shops, a bag of old retro sweets and sunshine and rain, and so it's grounded, it's not too sweet.
That's cool. Good luck with that. I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, do you have any ideas for a name, or are you going to keep that under wraps just for now, or?
Well, the kind of working title was Rainbow. That's kind of been the inspiration, but we haven't got a complete. And I feel like because this was all before everything, before pandemic, before the horrible stuff that's gone on, the George Floyd thing. So I'm meaning to have a chat with the perfumer to say maybe our brief could change a little bit because of everything that's gone on. So something that symbolises hope, I think, would be really nice.
Oh, that's so lovely. Wow.
Yves, you've had your time to think about it.
I don't have an excuse, right? So I really love the House of Dusita. I feel like I always get an emotional reaction whenever I try her fragrances. So that'd be awesome if I could possibly make my own fragrance with Pissarra. But I definitely would want rose, incense, and cardamom to be 3 of the notes to be included, because I just love those notes whenever I wear a fragrance.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I have not tried any of her work, but I've actually heard nothing but good things. Definitely gonna have to check her out. Okay, cool. I think for me, like I think the obvious answer would be Guerlain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm not gonna mention Guerlain, but I'm gonna mention somebody who is kind of linked to Guerlain, and that is Patricia Nicolai from Nicolai Parfum de Nicolai. I think I'm starting to realize that this house is really, really good. I've got New York Intense, and I've got Patchouli Intense and Travel Atomizer. I've been wearing Queer Cuba Intense recently.
Oh, I love that one. It's good.
It is really good, yeah, totally. And tried a few others from her line. So she might be an interesting one to work with, actually. I don't know what it would smell like, but I kind of like the idea of doing a kind of, like, my style is very much sweet, smoky. Those are the 2 combinations. Like, Claire, Bois d'Armenie, right? I know that's one of your favorite fragrances. So that kind of sweet, smoky, the Guerlain kind of vibe. Something along those lines. That would be perfect.
What's your favorite note, Raj?
My favorite note. Tough one. I think cardamom is definitely up there as one of my favorites. So I can see why a lot of people like cardamom. Vetiver as well. I really like it. Really, really like it. And actually, I think cocoa powder. Kind of dark chocolate kind of thing. Love those notes.
Nice.
Right, let's see what's going on in the comments. What we got here? Either I'm way behind or I'm way behind. Okay, let's go through these. All right, the Arts Traveler, yeah, that's a name I recognize. What's the best Chanel fragrance for men? Yves, top of your head, which one comes to mind for you?
I like Egoist. I can't say Egoist.
Egoist. Yeah. What do you like about it specifically?
I don't know. Maybe I have just like memories attached to that. I smelled it for as long as I could remember. Yeah, no specific reason really, but I do like that one. I'm actually not a huge Chanel fan, but
okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Claire, best Chanel for men.
I was going to say exactly the same thing as Yves. Okay. I'm not a massive Chanel fan. I don't dislike Chanel, but I guess they're maybe a bit too classic and not that avant-garde. They don't really do gourmand. The one that I love for myself is Messier. Apart from that, I don't really need Chanel in my life. I like their travel ones, but for a man, Egoist, because I love the spicy, sexy Oriental vanilla. I think it's really nice. So I think for my favourite men's one is Egoist as well.
We were so earlier, if anybody's new to the chat, we were kind of talking about traveling and fragrances, and actually you guys have mentioned Egoist, and I've got another scent memory from abroad, and this is going back not that long ago, 2018. I went to New York, and I went in May. It was around May time, so it was starting to warm up a little bit. Yeah. And I bought Egoist at the airport. It's a fragrance actually that I owned several years ago, but I didn't feel like I was like ready for it. I felt it was a bit too, I wasn't manly enough to wear it. And whether I am now, I don't know, it's up for debate, but I feel like it's better now. And I remember wearing it in the humidity of New York, like that heat that gets trapped in all the streets and all the tall buildings was in the air. And I remember going to, it was actually a work trip. So I remember meeting up with some of my work colleagues and we went to a rooftop bar, and yeah, I was wearing Egoist and really sticks in my mind. So yeah, definitely Egoist. I would also throw in Coromandel and honestly, Bleu de Chanel. I know a lot of people say it's generic, but I just think sometimes for those throw on dumb reach kind of days, work days, I think Bleu is
I actually like Bleu de Chanel, and this might open up a can of worms, but I actually prefer it to Sauvage.
Okay.
I really like Bleu de Chanel.
Yeah, I agree. Raj and Claire, have any of you tried anything from Ruth Massenbrook, specifically Fire Dance? I haven't. It's a brand that I've heard about. Claire?
I don't. I think I've tried some Ruth Massenbrook, but I can't really remember.
Yeah.
I actually met her at there was an event in Les Senteurs in London quite a few years ago, and she was showing us her fragrances, but there was a lot going on, and I don't really remember, I'm afraid.
Okay. Yves, yourself, brand that you're familiar with?
No, I have not heard of it actually, but I'm interested to try it out.
Yeah, I think she might. She's British, right? I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. What else? So Dad is saying, if you are a teacher, you should expose the children to more niche and challenging fragrances. Okay, so this is for Yves.
Yeah, so I'm actually not a teacher, but I do work with a lot of kids, and I do work with a lot of teachers. I mean, sure, I guess I could try to do that.
Okay, we've got Carl in the house. You frag guy. Oh, I thought your name was UK frag guy. Maybe you've changed it. So it's nice, mate. What else? Saying sorry if I'm behind with the comments, but let's see. I think some people are naming their favorite reviewer. So yeah, Maximilian Ross. No. Rob SOS. I don't think that's somebody I know. I don't think so. Scentland. This guy is on another level. I really like Chris. Yeah, Scentland, the land. I don't know if you know Scentland, Chris. Yves.
No, no, I actually don't. No.
He's like he's a German. Yeah, he's German, or he lives in Germany. I can't remember. And he's very much does his own thing. He doesn't follow the crowds. He's really creative with some of his videos, and he's into like old school sort of feeling fragrances. So I don't know if that style would appeal to you.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely check him out.
But he does sometimes review female fragrances. So he did. I was looking up a Moschino fragrance. I can't remember. It's called Cloud something, and his review came up, and it's a female fragrance, but he reviewed it. He doesn't care who wear whatever he wants to wear.
That's
but
great.
It's generally speaking goes more back in time than the more modern fragrances. But he's quite descriptive. He'll paint a picture, which is really nice.
Yeah, totally. Joseph says, in case I get cut off, well done to all of you for this chat. Thank you, and thanks for stopping by. In addition to Raj, I watch Smelling. I guess that's Sebastian. Must be.
Oh yeah, I watch him.
Gas Fragrance, Big Beard Business, and Monica Chuck, who is a UK. Well, she's based in the UK. Claire, you've met Monica. Does she sound as good in real life as she does in videos?
Do you know what? All I was obsessed with when I met Monica was how beautiful her skin was.
Yeah.
Oh, she does have very nice skin.
Oh
yeah.
My God, in real life, she is stunning. Yeah, no, she's lovely. She's absolutely lovely. Her partner, who does all her editing, and that is also lovely. And also Judah Rose, Josephine, and
oh, you met her. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I love them all. They're beautiful people.
Fantastic. Yeah, I really like Josephine, actually. She's very much like my style in terms of like the way that she talks about fragrances. She's got that kind of very upbeat kind of feel to her, which I really like. And she talks about interesting fragrances. So.
Yeah.
And she's very professional too. The way she.
Yeah, totally. I think it's the Swiss. She's Swiss, right?
Yeah, that's what I heard. And I think she lived a little bit in Canada too.
Okay. Cool.
I think she's been. Lives in a few different places. She speaks French. She's been in the industry for many years, so she brings all of that together. And really
she mentioned that in her one of her videos that she's in the industry. But what does she? I don't know if it's a secret, but do you know specifically what she does?
I can't remember now. She's had a lot of training. I can't remember what her specific career is now, but yeah, she's definitely had a lot of fragrance training and a lot of history, sort of CV wise.
Okay, cool.
Clemence is the same. So Clemence has I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say who she works for, but she does fragrance training. So that's why she has such knowledge and such knowledge of history, because she trains in fragrances.
Nice. All right, cool. Good to know we've got people with the inside knowledge there in the community. Can we have your thoughts on the House of Spirit of Dubai? I would give you my thoughts if I tried them. I haven't.
I haven't tried it either.
No.
Have you?
Spirit of Dubai, I think they have a store opposite Harrods, and I have seen some reviews. I think Nikhil from Exotic Scents has spoken about them a few times. I really don't know. I really don't know anything. It's changed now that I see people more careful with their spending. Yeah, sure. Let's just catch up with a few more comments. I'll just flash this one up on the. Okay. Oh, we got Brendan, who is somebody that you know, Claire. Somebody I also know. Yeah. Good to see him.
Brendan's a magician.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's a magician that's into fragrances as well.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. And if anybody is in, just if anyone's interested in magic, check out Brendan, Magic TV, Brendan Rodriguez. I've actually been to one of his shows here in London, where it was like a workshop kind of thing, which was really cool. Really enjoyed that. And he does a few videos on how to do certain tricks on, like that. Check out his Instagram as well. It's all pretty good. Howdy, y'all. Jonathan B. Swift. Good to see you, buddy. Oh, great one. Pine Rocks is another UK reviewer. He's really good, and he makes a great comment. He loves St. Land, and he misses Lanier Smith. Anybody know what? He's all right, or is he?
He does post on Facebook, and he does do the odd little video now on YouTube. So he's fine. I've seen a very recent post on Facebook, so he's okay.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. I think, Yves, do you know Lanier?
He was one that I started watching when I started getting into watching YouTube videos, so I'm very familiar with his videos. I think he's based here in the Bay Area, where I'm from.
Yes, I was actually going to mention that, because him, Sebastian, they've met up a few times. So, yeah, if you need good advice on fragrances and also how to make a good cocktail, Lanier Smith is your man. Okay, cool. I'll just come back to that comment, actually. I've missed one. What do you guys think of Florist, the British UK House of Florists? Any experience with them?
I had, I can't remember what it was now. So when Kate and Prince, what's his name, got married. Not him. The other one, Harry. Is it Harry?
Yeah.
No, not Harry, the other one. When
William.
they got married,
William.
Kate had a bespoke florist fragrance, but it was basically a slightly tweaked version of an existing fragrance by florist. And I managed to get hold of a small bottle of, obviously not the bespoke one, but the mass market one. It was really nice. But I find them quite classic again, a bit like a Chanel, not that exciting, because I tend to go more, I guess, a gourmand or slightly weird. And florists are a very classic company, very British.
Very British.
Very nice fragrances. Yes, Tracy comforting says, thank you. Yeah, William and Kate.
Sure. Yeah. I think on the women's side, I think they have like some nice florals in there. The men's are quite classic, very gentlemanly type sense. But I think they've been experimenting. They've got honey ouds, they've got leather ouds. So, yeah, good ones in there.
Yeah, the honey ouds got a lot of love, didn't it? It got a little bit of hype for a little while, going back a few years.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, I still have to try Florist. I think we used to have a store near where I lived, but I wanted to try it out and then they closed it. So
really,
yeah, I didn't get a chance.
Yves, what's the fragrance scene like where you're at in terms of shops or community?
Yeah, there's a few. Like we have a diptyque shop near here. San Francisco is probably the best city to go to for perfumes.
Okay.
If you're into that, there are quite a few perfumeries there that I really, really like. But a lot of people here don't really wear perfume or fragrance,
Really?
except for Sauvage. I smell that everywhere I go. So that is one that everyone wears here.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
Me too.
And
Pandemic.
Yeah, right?
it is. It is. Claire, what about where you're based in the UK? Any decent fragrance shop, or is it mainly what is it like?
So where I am, I'm about an hour out of London. There's nothing too exciting here, but we do have a very big mall, which is called Blue Water, which has got the Penhaligon boutique. We've got a John Lewis and a House of Fraser, and they have a fair amount. They've got the upper end. They've got Creeds and the private blends Tom Ford, and a few niche offerings. So you can generally within half an hour to an hour find some more, easy to find niche stuff. But if I want to find anything a little bit more exciting, I go to London, which is not too difficult. So yeah, it's not too bad around here, but very locally, it's basic. It's pretty basic.
Cool. Okay, cool. Talking of London, we actually had a comment, I've missed it, but from Carl saying we need another UK reviewer meetup, and we've met once before, Claire. I can't remember when it was.
It was a good few years ago, I think.
2015, I want to say 2016, maybe.
Was that when Chad came? Was that when Chad came down?
Yeah, exactly. So for anybody who doesn't know, Chad from the channel Gentleman's Journey, he came down to London with his wife, whose name I'm really sorry, Neela. Is it Neela? Neela. Okay. Who is lovely, and Chad was really cool. He came down to London. There were a few others reviewers who came. Dan was there. Wasim was there. Yeah, it was really good. It was a good meetup. Okay, let's see what else is going on. I hate freaking Sauvage.
I don't blame you.
Jo Malone has quite nice fragrances. Thoughts on Jo Malone? This actually came up in, I can't remember I think it might have been George the Fragrance Apprentice's live stream, and they basically went around the chat asking people for thoughts on their fragrance house. And Jo Malone didn't get much love, but Yves, are you a fan?
I'm not a huge fan. I'm sorry to say. I do like Wood Sage and Sea Salt. That one I would wear, but I just haven't found one that I connected with, unfortunately.
Sure. Claire, are you a fan or not really?
I still get excited when there's a new release. I always want to try it.
Yeah.
I haven't fallen in love with Manny. I did used to have the Ginger Lily one, dark amber and ginger lily.
Dark ginger lily in the black bottle, yeah.
Yeah, and I really did love it at the time, but I kind of got past it. But I remember getting compliments on it, feeling special wearing it. It kind of like has a bit of a pencil sharpening vibe, but it's more than that. But it was really nice, and the performance was great. So I think there's the odd good one, and I'm kind of interested in some of the old discontinued ones like Ginger Biscuit. I'd like to try them, but I haven't really fallen in love with the house.
Sure. Yeah, I'm kind of I guess I like them from the sounds of it. I like the house a little bit more than you guys. I've had a couple. I mean, I'm not loving Jo Malone. I have owned 154. I've owned Lime Basil and something.
I think Neroli, probably.
Yeah. I don't, one other which I can't really remember. I think they make some nice scents. They're a little bit too nice, like when a person doesn't have that sort of attitude, you want.
Yeah.
That's what I
lack edge.
Lacking that edge, yeah. They're well made, but
I think there's a stereotype here in the States, at least, that certain type of people that tend to be really into Jo Malone. I've seen some reviewers kind of say that they tend to associate that brand with really snobby yoga moms. It's a very specific demographic, but I don't know if that's the same thing in the UK, but that's, I guess, the stereotype we have here in the States.
I think I think I actually do agree. I think Joe Malone, because it's kind of like an entry level luxury brand. They do lovely candles. The packaging is really nice, and it's always like around Valentine's Day. I see like a few days before Valentine's Day, I see so many men walking around with Joe Malone bags. So I think it's one of those brands, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of associated with luxury, isn't it? It's like your Tom Ford Private Blend.
Yeah.
A guy can't go wrong with the sort of the average lady. If she's not really a frag head, the average lady is not going to be. She's going to love anything from Joe Malone. It's got that reputation, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So the Guerlain man is asking, which discontinued perfume are you most scared of finishing in your collection? Claire, do you want to start with this one? Do you have any fragrances that are discontinued? Are you panicking?
Well, I've already kind of sorted that problem out. So the one discontinued fragrance that I love with all my heart is actually my favourite fragrance, I think, ever. And it's My Insolence from Guerlain.
Oh.
And I sorted the problem because I've got 3 backup bottles now.
Yeah,
there you go. That's probably why it's sold out everywhere, because I wanted to try it when you mentioned it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the one. And I've always got my eye on eBay, and if I ever see a bottle go cheap, then I'll grab it. That's the one.
Cool. Yves, any fragrances that you have back?
So I have one from Guerlain. It's from the line La Petite Robe Noire, but I have the couture version.
Okay.
And I really like that one. I actually blind bought it, which I never do. And I only bought 30 mils of it. And I usually don't buy backups, but that is one that I might consider doing that with. But yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I kind of had a slight sort of panic attack when Dior were releasing the new Homme version and Dior Homme Intense. And there's going to be like a new version of Dior Homme Parfum, I believe, and it's becoming a little bit hard to find. Like, it's on the Dior website, but I am a little bit nervous about Dior Homme Intense. Typically, it's one of my favorite fragrances, and I don't know if the new version is going to be, well, what it's going to be like. I think there was a review up today from, I can't remember who it was, but I need to watch it. So, but the thing is, I don't know what you guys think, but do you just sometimes think, you know what, if it's gone and I can't get it, hell with it?
That's how I am, because my tastes change year to year almost. But most of the time, if I finish a bottle, I'll just move on to the next one that was on my list.
Okay, cool. Chris, were there any videos made during the UK YouTuber meetup?
There was a few.
I don't remember who did them.
Chad did a couple, because I remember being in one about Killian's Love Don't Be Shy.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
You remember it now?
Because
down that back alley in the dark.
Yeah, I remember that. Suddenly, I just had a vision that I was thinking everyone together in one video, but the individual one-on-ones, yes, Chad did a lot of those with myself also. So yeah. I think Greggy Boy did a video when we were in Fortnum Mason, and this was when Cody came to town, Drac Dog. Yeah. So yeah, there are some floating around. I think there was a missed opportunity recently when I met up with Greg, Dan from Mr. Smelly, what's his name? Not Joe. Dan from one half of What's in the Loft. So we met up in a pub, basically it was kind of, well, not at Tower Hill in London, and basically all of us forgot to do videos because we were on the beers that night. So it was a bit like, we didn't get a chance to do any videos, but we smelled a lot of good stuff, and we should have done a video. It would have been cool, a quick scent of the day, but didn't get around to it.
Hopefully we can do a meetup when everything's calmed down. We can all meet up.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think it would be really nice to do that. There's a lot of UK reviewers popping up nowadays, so that would definitely. Mark is asking, anyone a fan of Miller Harris? I'll start with this one because I think Miller Harris is quite an underrated house, or maybe under the radar. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking about YouTube, but I think they do quite well commercially. I think they're really like well-made fragrances. They're quite interesting. I've had 4 or 5 over the years. I don't know if you guys have any experience with them. Yves, are they stocked in the US or where you are?
It might be, but I'm not. I can't tell you where I could purchase it here. That is a house that I really want to try, though. And there is a fragrance called Scherzo that I really want to try because I like the name.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I haven't tried it.
Sure. Claire, have you owned any Miller Harrises, or you're a fan?
No, I haven't. I've never found one that I really loved. I remember when the violet one came out. Is it Ida Violet? I can't remember what it's called, but the violet one came out. But it's when I got a sample of it, it's more of an iris fragrance, not really a violet at all. So it kind of disappointed me a little bit. It's very nice for an iris, but it wasn't what I expected. But yeah, I haven't found one that I love yet, because you can find them quite often at the airports, which so I end up finding them at the airports when I'm going here and there, and never quite found the one for me. So you know, when you just think, oh, maybe it's not quite the house for me. A bit like Florist, quite classic, although not quite as classic. A little bit. They've got some modern twists going on.
A bit more experimental, yeah, I think so. I have owned over the years. I've had Foy de Tabac, which is a tobacco leaf fragrance. It's actually quite classy. It's quite crispy and aromatic and a little bit sweet. So if you're into like the sort of subtle sense of tobacco, it's really good. I've had a vetiver one. I have a vetiver one at the moment. It's called Vetiver in Salon. Beautiful vetiver coffee, a little bit peppery, really good. L'air de Rien is a little bit powdery, sweet. That's some good stuff. I think it's a good house.
I'm just remembering, I did try one. I think I might have had a decan of it was a rose. It was one of their higher end ones. It was a rose spicy fragrance. I've forgotten what it's called. When you said Fures de Tabac, it reminds me it's one of the tobacco ones.
Rose Silence, I think, is the name.
No, I can't remember now, but it was nice, but it didn't quite well. But I think it was the tobacco spicy thing.
Okay. Well, if anyone's interested, or anyone is in London, lives in London, or is coming to London, well, nobody's planning on coming at the moment, but there is a really nice Miller Harris store in Covent Garden, which is definitely worth checking out. Covent Garden is a great place for fragrances. It's kind of turned into a great place for fragrances. They have Penhaligon's there. They have Chanel. There's a Tom Ford boutique. There is an Atelier Cologne boutique, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Thoughts on Habit Rouge, guy? Guerlain Habit Rouge.
I haven't not smelled it yet. I don't know if you guys have tried it.
Yeah, Claire, do you know it?
Yeah, Habit Rouge. Yes, I like it. I actually really like the sport version, which is discontinued. Habit Rouge Sport. It's I guess it's a little bit generic in a way, but it's just so nice. It's something really sexy about it.
Okay, cool. This person who's actually asking this question is actually a aunt. So welcome. So welcome to the live stream. She's a big fan of Habit Rouge, actually. Yeah.
Hello.
Great. Fragrance runs in the family, so.
Yeah, I saw some videos of you with your mom, I think. I think your dad too, and they're very knowledgeable about fragrances.
Yeah,
I was very impressed.
Yeah, definitely. I'll pass on the compliments. I think like my dad's really into fragrances. We've done a few videos before. And yeah, my mom, she really appreciates. She has a good collection, and she loves it. She was actually also in the chat earlier, and she mentioned a fragrance by Lise Mediterranee, and that fragrance is the one Frederic Malle fragrance. and that's probably the strongest scent memory I have from my childhood was her wearing that. And me actually, I've got a Frederic Malle bottle. I remember seeing this on her a table in their room, and I remember looking at the bottle, seeing the name of the perfumer, who was Edouard Flechier, and I thought, oh, okay, the brand is called Edouard Flechier. So I didn't think about it, and then it was only when I started getting into fragrances that I just saw this brand. I thought, wait, I've seen that bottle somewhere before, but then it said Frederic Malle, and I thought they had changed the name to Frederic Malle, but then I realized, oh, it's actually Frederic Malle, and this was going back to 2000, probably around 2002, 2003. So it was a long time ago. So my mom was into niche fragrances before I even knew what they were.
Dude, that's cool.
Nice.
Do you guys have? You were saying earlier that you maybe don't have relatives or people who wear fragrances, but is there at least one person who's really into scents, or maybe you've influenced?
Well, my mom wore opium when I grew up, but that was the one that she wore that I could remember. And it was only because my dad gifted it to her. So it was like a sentimental thing. So yeah, unfortunately, I think most of my relatives are just not into it.
Claire?
Yeah, no one in my family was really into fragrances. As I grew up, my mum did wear Poison, and then when me and my brother were kind of old enough to buy her a present, we got her Tender Poison because we thought she'd like it because she liked Poison, but she wasn't really into fragrances.
Okay.
So yeah, it was just me. It was just my own thing. It was like I just wanted to smell everything. I've always wanted to smell everything.
Yeah.
That was my thing.
Okay.
So I got myself into it, I guess.
Awesome. There's a comment here which I've literally just skipped over, I think, or here it is. Scherzo, it means joke in Italian.
It does. The reason why I like that name is because so I play piano, and my favorite pieces from Chopin is called scherzos. So that's why I want to try that fragrance.
Awesome. Yves, I'm interested to hear about your piano playing, because if anyone doesn't know, on Yves' channel, in the background music is actually you playing piano, and you also have a channel where you do like 5-6 minute clips of you playing, which is really good. I like to watch them while I'm working. It's very relaxing.
Cool. That's where my views are coming from.
That's it. That one viewer is actually me. So
nice. Thank you.
No, definitely check out that if you're into classical music. But you do covers of other like more modern music as well, right?
I do. So growing up, I did take lessons to read piano sheet music, but I kind of got bored with some of the pieces, and I wanted to play what I was listening to on the radio. So whatever I heard on the radio, I try to learn it on the piano. And that's kind of why I do some cover songs now.
Perfect. Cool. Ashbak is saying Lynn Harris, who was involved with Miller Harris, has her own brand called Perfume H. Yep, I haven't tried them actually. I'm hoping to have sample her works this year. Yeah, don't know if you guys are aware of Perfume H.
No, it makes me think of Preparation H.
That's what I was thinking.
What's that? That's gone over my head.
I think it's a treatment for piles. Am I right?
I think so. Yeah. It's a medical thing.
I think it's supposed to be a good treatment for it's supposed to do something for the skin. That's why I might have heard of it. But anyway, I don't want to bring the tone down on your channel, Raj.
You don't. Do you have backup bottles of that there? Do you, Claire?
Preparation H.
Backup bottles of Preparation H. No, luckily.
No? Okay. Good to know. So Carl is asking, I have some new releases from Baldessarini on the way. Anyone tried fragrances from the house? I haven't. You guys, Yves, do you know Baldessarini?
No, I'm learning about all these houses. This is awesome. I should put it on my list to try out.
Yeah. Claire, do you know the brand?
I've heard of it, but no, I don't think I've tried anything.
I don't know if they do many women's fragrances, and I think they are in some way connected with Hugo Boss. But maybe Carl, you might be able to let me know. I hear about them. I think Mark did a review of Amber Oud recently. So. Kerosene fragrances, anyone?
I've tried Unknown Pleasures. I like that one. Yeah, but I really have to try other ones. We do have a boutique here that sells that brand.
Oh, cool. Claire, this is, well, you might know them, but anyone who doesn't, Kerosene is John Pegg, who used to be a crazy YouTube fragrance reviewer, actually. He was wild back in the day. Have you tried any of his work?
Yeah, I used to have a bottle, and I can't remember if it was Unknown Pleasures or there's another one that's quite similar, like citrus, coconut, vanilla, gourmand. And I did do a blind buy on a bottle, and I split it, and that was really nice. But then I don't know why, I kind of didn't go off it, but I stopped loving it. Okay. And someone sent me some Winter 99, which was really nice. So I've tried a couple, but I haven't tried anything for a long time, not of late. I never watched it. I didn't know his reviews, though. I've never seen his reviews.
Yeah, well, he's one of those guys who took down his channel, actually, after starting his brand. Actually, this might be a good question. What do you think about reviewers who will put out their own product, their own, fragrance, and they'll still continue reviewing? Do you think that's something that can still happen, or do you think people should just shut it down? Or what are your thoughts?
I think they should be allowed to still do their channel and review, but I do think that they have to be careful when they are potentially giving negative reviews about other brands, because that could be seen as potentially a way to kind of get people to purchase their stuff, especially if it's very similar to what other things are reviewing. But I think that, they should be cautious about it, but I don't think they should be completely barred from reviewing. Sure,
yeah. Claire, do you have a same view or a different view?
Yeah, no, I have a very similar view, really. At the end of the day, the viewer has the knowledge and the ability to take everything with a pinch of salt. And for the most part, so say, for example, Dan, he's got one fragrance out.
Yeah.
Just because he's got that one fragrance out doesn't mean he's going to try and sway everyone to only ever purchase that one fragrance. But also, if he is reviewing something very similar, and then he sort of does a review that compares his own fragrance with another fragrance, then you have to understand that he's obviously going to be trying to push people in that direction. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, why stop reviewing if you're a good reviewer?
Sure.
Because you've got, so I mean, eventually, if I ever have a fragrance available, which I hope I will, then that's not going to stop me reviewing everything else. And I know personally, I'm never going to be trying to push everyone to buy that one thing, because my passion's the whole thing. So yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. I think what you mentioned, Yves, is actually something that I didn't think of, but I saw it on. It was a comment on YouTube. I can't remember who commented, but somebody commented that exact same thing, that you got to be careful. There could be. I think it was because Jeremy Fragrance was contacted by some big brand saying, "Why did you trash our fragrance?" And I think it was in response to that. And they were saying that you got to be really careful, be seen as trying to sort of put down another brand. So yeah, there is definitely that. I think reviewers can definitely continue reviewing. The only thing I would say is that when you start reviewing work of your peers, because they're now your peers, basically people in your industry, I think the tasteful thing to do is not to bash them or say anything negative, because they're like, they're one of part of your circle. So yeah, I think in some ways that's a good thing, because at least the reviewer that you love can continue. You can continue seeing their videos. But I think the negative to that is that means that there are less negative reviews on YouTube. And negative meaning just saying you dislike it, not trashing, but just saying
critical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, thanks for all these questions, guys. Really do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know if you have like a sort of time limit of how long you want to be on. I don't want to keep you too long, but I know actually, Yves, that you've got another live stream.
Yeah, I didn't realize when I said yes to your time, I was like, oh, I actually do have another live during this day. But I mean, this is fun. I could probably stay on for another 10 minutes if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's a good time for us. Let's just go through these comments. Jonathan, my mum wore Guerlain Shalimar. Classic. I'm actually testing the Eau de Parfum and the Eau de Toilette at the moment. So I'm doing a comparison. Which one do you guys prefer, if any?
I like the Eau de Toilette, but I have a lot of respect for the EDP. How about you, Claire?
I haven't tried them well enough. I haven't owned them. I've tried them in shops. They're a little bit too sharp for me, that lemony opening. But there's a new one coming out. I don't know if you know about it. Filtre de Parfum. So
yeah,
Shalimar Filtre de Parfum is coming out, and I think it's going to be slightly more about the vanilla. So it's going to be maybe a little bit softer. So I'm kind of interested to try that one. But yeah, Shalimar itself is Yves versions, not quite for me. I'm more about the flankers, I think.
I think same here. Yeah.
I was planning on going to Paris. It was supposed to be August holiday. I had this big trip planned. Go to the Champs-Elysees boutique, get some fragrances. I was tempted to get a bottle of Shalimar. Which one I wasn't sure. And I've seen on their website they had a limited edition. It's just in design, not in terms of scent, but the bottle looks really cool. So I don't know if I'm going to make it to Paris, but we'll see. We'll see.
Maybe we should have a reviewer meetup in Paris instead of London.
We should do
That'd
it.
be amazing.
We should do it. Yves,
I missed out. Yeah.
Yeah. Just get on the red eye, and I'll see you in Paris.
Definitely.
Jonathan's asking, Questioning Scents, I believe, is a UK perfume reviewer. I think he asked earlier, or somebody else asked, do you know him? Have you guys, Claire, do you know Questioning Scents?
Yes. Questioning Scents. That's Nigel, isn't it?
Nigel is 2 cents worth. I actually don't know the name of this guy, Questioning Scents.
Matt. Sorry, Matt. I do mix up the newer fellas.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I know Matt enough. I watch his channel. He's in a couple of the same groups I'm in on Facebook. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, he's a UK reviewer. He was wearing a top hat for the. He's now taken it off. So yeah, he's actually a really good reviewer. I actually quite like his videos. I find myself recently, check him out. He does a lot of different things. You know, he reviews quite a broad spectrum of fragrances, and I found myself recently, whenever his video pops up, he's one of the first ones actually I click on. So the Guerlain man is asking, I like Redolescence, about is Stephen. Anyone tried Navitus? Claire, I know you have. I've seen your video.
Yes. Got samples there. I don't know. They're kind of very modern. There's quite a lot of synthetic. You know, like Baccarat Rouge has quite a lot of synthetic woodsy notes in it.
Yeah.
They seem to rely quite heavily on the synthetics. I think they're good if you are looking to make a statement. They're very loud. They're nice fragrances, but they're not quite my style. So I still need to explore them, but I kind of they're not quite my style. I haven't really taken the time to properly explore them. I find them quite sexy, like all these woodsy modern, you know, like your Broxtons and all that. I do find them kind of addictive and sexy in some way, but in another way, they're not quite my thing.
Okay. Yves, does the idea of like big YouTube reviewers coming out with their line of fragrances, that something that interests you, or would you prefer to stick with the indie brands? Or
I don't see myself doing that. Same reason why I don't compose music. I prefer just appreciating what's there. I don't think I have the creativity to be able to do that, but I mean, all power to those who are able to produce their own stuff.
Sure. We've got Eugene in the house.
Hello.
Ciao,
Thanks.
Eugene.
Yeah. Let's see. We got Girl and Man. He is asking Yves if you could only have one perfume for you and your husband. Share.
So we do share a lot. More of me stealing his stuff rather than him taking mine. But I do like Guerlain's the L'Homme Ideal cologne. I wear that one. So we share that one a lot. I probably wear it more than he does, to be honest.
Cool. Okay. Cool. Right. Cool. So I know that you need to make a move. I think if we say let's stay on for 5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. Sure.
Guys, thanks for joining us. If you've got any more questions, please do send them your way. Let's see what we've got. I think I've got to the end. Let's just go down smooth. I probably did. Cool. Right, so guys, so what have you got planned in terms of your channels? Do you have any videos in the pipeline? Do you still have to do some videos, or what's your? I'll start with Claire. I'll start with Ross.
I've got a list of videos I'm planning, all sorts of random stuff. But the big one that I'm concentrating on and have been for a while is the pear video.
Okay.
So fragrances with a pear note, because pear has really been grabbing my attention lately for the last quite a few months actually. So I've kind of been purchasing, getting samples, ready to do this huge pear video. So that's my the focus at the moment.
Awesome.
Nice.
And Yves, do you have videos lined up? Are you somebody who you make several and then you put them out, or do you just put them out on the day of recording, or how do you do it?
Yeah, so usually I make quite a lot at one time or within the span of a couple days, and then I wait to release them because my working schedule wouldn't allow me to produce one as frequently right away. But it is going to be the summer break and for the school, so I'll have more time. In terms of what I have planned, there are quite a few reviews that I want to do. I just got the sample pack for this house called Sana Jardin.
Oh yeah.
They're known for their sustainability. So I was really interested in trying out that brand. And Tio Cabanel's another brand, and Bois 1920. I'm probably going to put out some reviews for those.
Cool. Looking forward to that. From my side, I've got a list. I've got on my phone. I've put together a list of loads of topics I want to talk about. I'm testing old school Aramis and then the new fragrance special blend. So anyone who's into old school fragrances, I'll be talking about that. I've got a haul video coming soon, and I was tagged by Yves.
Oh yeah.
Sexy perfume tag, so I'm going to do my response. I was having a think of it the other day, actually, of my responses. And I think a fourth video is I'm going to try and do a video talking about fragrances for beginners to wear in different scenarios, but putting in some like good quality stuff for people. So useful for people out there. Gunmetal. Ashrak, no, thanks for the dropping by. Gunmetal, pear is such a hard note to capture. Do you guys agree with that or not?
Yeah, from my point of view, because I wanted pear in the fragrance that I'm working on, I've actually learned quite a lot about it. So obviously you can't just have it as a natural, and there are synthetics, but they're very short-lived. So, and I've noticed that in the fragrances that I've been exploring with pear, the pear note is very hard to keep going. And that was the challenge that we had, is I really wanted the pear to last. So it's a very short-lived note, and it can come from different. It's not just like there's one option. There's a few different options, but generally speaking, it doesn't last. So yeah, it's difficult to get that pear note to last. But I wanted more of a synthetic sweet, like a hard-boiled sweet note, like a pear drop.
Yeah.
But still, it's very hard to get that to stick around. You have to work with, or the perfume has to work with different materials that are going to kind of grab onto it and hold it. But yeah, it is a tricky note, but it's clearly trending. It's in a lot of things at the moment.
Interesting. You're a fan of pears, Yves?
I do. I mean, I don't actively seek that note out when I'm trying out new fragrances, but when it's done well, I do like that note. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might have to ask Claire for recommendations for some good pear fragrances.
Sounds like she's got an epic video too. So yeah. I don't really know. Hey, what's up, Rich?
Oh,
I don't really know too many pear fragrances. I think some people will say that Dior contains pear, which I think it has that kind of, gives you a feeling of a fruity, sweet kind of fruity vibe. I don't think it dominates the scent, but yeah.
Interesting, because I don't get pear at all from that.
I can see why some people don't. I think it's one of those things that, when someone says, oh, it's got pear, and then miraculously you can pick out pear.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's one of those things, to be honest. Yeah. All right. So I think we'll bring this to an end. It's been a really good stream. I just want to thank both of you guys for coming on. It was great sort of guys and finding out a little bit more about you two. And if anyone is not aware of these two lovely ladies' channels, please do check them out. Subscribe. They have great content. They're very full of substance, I find, and very easy to listen to. And yeah.
Raj, thanks for having me. I'm so honored that you asked me, so thank you so much. It was really nice talking to you too.
My pleasure.
It's been lovely chatting to both of you, and to see Raj's audience as well, some new faces, and yeah, it's been great.
It's great. And Yves, I'll try and catch you in. You've got 2 hours to rest before your next live
but
stream.
isn't it like midnight?
But it's Saturday. I think. Is it Saturday? Yeah, it is Saturday.
It's Saturday, but it's 10. It's only 10 o'clock. It's not too late.
Yeah, we got plenty of time, and Claire's no doubt got some vodka and coke lined up, so she'll be on that.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, guys. And I'll just say thank you again to everyone in the comments. Just go through all of these quickly. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Great. Thanks for that, Claire. Catch you later.